It is Sunday, November 28th, 2021, and on this week's edition of Sunday Sofa Time, we're talking about a house in Florida. Did you all have a happy Thanksgiving, those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving? And did you see my special edition of Sofa Time about the Mayflower and the original transatlantic cruise? Also in that video, I told you the details of our transatlantic cruise that we'll be doing next year. So if you haven't seen that yet, I uploaded it a couple days ago. You can find it in my library. And as promised, in this video, I am going to tell you about what's happening coming up very soon in the lives of Morgan and Marcus. Most of you must know by now that I live in Germany, but I'm not from Germany. I grew up in the United States. I moved here in 1998 and I've lived here now for like half of my adult life. And Marcus is German and he's lived here for all of his life. But I didn't always live here, and in fact, I used to live in Florida because I was a Disney cast member a long time ago. It was 1994 and 95, I think, that I was there. Working for Disney in Orlando at the time was a dream come true. I'm so glad I did it. And if things hadn't gone the way they went back then, I might have never done all the other things, all the other fantastic things I ended up doing in my life, because I would have been happy to just stay there and do what I was doing at the time. There's two main reasons why that never happened. One of them is because of my evil stepsister roommates who just made my life a living hell while I was there. And the other one was because I was a seasonal employee and I didn't get taken on for full time. And so I ended up going back to school, and that all led to my alternate life, which worked out pretty good. And you all know that Marcus and I have been to Disney and to Universal, to Orlando all together so many times now. We've stayed in the Sapphire Falls Resort at Universal. We've stayed in the Cabana Bay Beach Resort. We've stayed in the Animal Kingdom Lodge. We've stayed at Pop Century. We've stayed at Coronado Springs a couple times. We've stayed in Port Orleans. We've done 5-day trips to Orlando. We've done 2-week trips to Orlando. And every time we're there, I think we always wish we would stay longer. We always joke about what it would be like to actually live there, what it would be like to work for Disney again, if Marcus could get a job for Disney. And it's something that this sort of dream we've had kind of has come and gone, and we've gotten sort of closer to it and moved further away from it. Anyways, we have spent so much time in Florida, and it's always been in connection to going to the parks. And like I said, every time we've been there, we've always joked about what it would be like to actually just live there. A while ago, probably a couple years ago now, here on the Very Unofficial Travel Guides, I talked about the possibility of acquiring some kind of property, some kind of long-term type of thing in Florida, be it a condo, a house. We even looked at DVC, the Disney Vacation Club, and decided, okay, that's definitely not what we need. We looked at the prices and the whole concept for these cool shacks that you can get at Margaritaville's resort. We've looked at a ton of options. And through this process, I got in touch with some of you who own property in Orlando or have owned property in Orlando, have experience with it. And many of you have been so helpful and so friendly and so generous. And we've been really, really thankful and grateful for the conversations we've had with you about these subjects. All right, so I'm getting to the nitty-gritty now. Are you ready to hear all these details? Of course, I'm not gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna do that after this short commercial break. Did you get one? What was it about? Write it in the comments below. All right, here's the breakdown. And please, after I tell you the whole details, if you are a Disney expert, somebody who's been to Disney World in the last half a year, I really need help with something. So please stick around because I'll give you the details to that after I tell you this. Not too long from now, Marcus and I are going to be packing up and flying to Orlando, and we are going to be doing something brand new for us. We are not staying in a Disney resort. We're not staying in any resort. We have a house. And it's something brand new for us. We've never done it before, and it's not our house. We haven't bought this house. We haven't bought property in Orlando yet. What we're doing is going to be totally different than what we usually do, because yes, we will be visiting some parks while we're there, but for a large part of the time, and this is going to be our longest stay in Orlando ever. We're going to be there for more than half of the month, and we're going to have a rental car, and we're going to have food in the refrigerator, and we're gonna, wake up in the morning and make breakfast in our kitchen, and we're gonna do work from our home in Orlando. And then maybe we'll drive out to like Cheesecake Factory for dinner, and then drive back home to our home, and just do like normal things that people who live in Orlando do. And it's not gonna be getting up super early to get on the bus to go to Magic Kingdom. So basically, we're gonna be doing a couple weeks of home office, but home office is not gonna be here in this home. It's gonna be from a home in Orlando. And it seems so weird to me because, like I said, to be in Florida always meant staying in a fancy themed resort and not cooking our own food, and not having a rental car in the garage, and not, driving to a restaurant for dinner at night if we wanted to, like a reasonably priced restaurant. It meant all these other things, and it was always focused on visiting theme parks. And like I said, we are going to be visiting parks, and I'll tell you what parks we're going to be visiting in a second. But for a large portion of the time, we're just going to be living there. And it's through the generous help of some of you out there, and you know who you are, and I will mention more about the details of where we are staying and how you could also stay there if you want to, but that's gonna be in a couple weeks. What I will tell you is the place where we're staying has its own pool with a little waterfall and a jacuzzi, and I'm definitely looking forward to taking breaks from editing for a little dip in the pool and maybe a chill in the jacuzzi. Can't do that here. Can't do that here. The parks we are planning to visit are Legoland, which haven't been to since it became Legoland. We were there in literally one of the last days that it was open as Cypress Gardens, so there's a lot of new stuff there that we haven't seen yet. We're going to be going to Busch Gardens. It's just a fantastic park, especially for roller coaster fans. And there's a couple new things that we want to see there as well, although the Iron Gwazi, this fantastic rebuilt coaster, is still not open yet. We're definitely going to go to Discovery Cove, which is also someplace we've never been before. Discovery Cove is basically probably the closest thing you can get to going to one of the cruise ship's private islands on land. Yeah, it's like a lagoon, a beach and lagoon with restaurants and bars and opportunities to interact with marine wildlife. Built by SeaWorld, you pay one price, and then the food and the drinks and a lot of the activities at this private resort are included in the price, including towels, wetsuits, drinks, food, sunscreen, and it's something that, that we've never done before, so I'm looking forward to going there and also showing you what it's like. My nieces and nephew and my sister and my mom and her friend are coming down as well for a part of the time, and I'm really excited to get to take my one niece to Islands of Adventure and Universal, because the last time we were there 3 years ago, she missed out on that part, and I'm just really happy that we get to do that again. And also the big group, so all the nieces and nephew and my sister and her husband and Marcus and I, we are going to do 1 day of Animal Kingdom and 1 day of Hollywood Studios, and that's it for Disney. And already that has been enough money and enough headaches to really, really turn me off. How can it be this expensive and then in addition be so complicated to plan a day at a Disney park with different families? I can't tell you the stress we've had with, my sister buying the tickets for her family, me buying the tickets for Marcus and I, and then my mom buying some of the tickets for some of the kids, and then trying to get that all onto one reservation. We've been working on it for a couple weeks now, and it's still not exactly how we would like it to be. So if any of you have become like experts in the way the this stupid app with the reservations and the park reservations and the tickets linked to magic bands, the way that works now, please get in touch, because what I want to do at the moment, our day at Animal Kingdom, I've managed to get everybody into my Disney app. So when we're trying to make Genie Plus reservations, if we do that, I'll be able to do it all for everybody at the same time. But the day that we're going to be in Hollywood Studios, some of those people I think are on my mom's account because she bought the tickets, and some of them are on my sister's account. And we can't get them all together. How do you do that? Please let me know if you know. Another thing is, I know that a lot of you who watch these videos, who I've interacted with over the years, I know that you are in the Orlando area. I don't know if I'll be doing sort of a get-together this time, but I will be doing some live streams from this beautiful house in a more practical time zone, like a more practical time, so that more of you will be able to be there live. And I'm really looking forward to that. It's not going to have to be like in the early morning or the afternoon like it usually is when I do a live stream from here. But what I wanted to ask is, do any of you out there play tennis? Because I would love to get some tennis matches in while I'm there. So if you are an avid tennis player, maybe you're in a club or on a team, also get in touch as well. Maybe we can hit some balls. And that is the really exciting plans we have coming up. We are not moving to Florida for full time, but for us, it doesn't feel like going to Disney. It feels like moving there for a large chunk of December to do what we normally do there and also go to some theme parks. I'm really curious about your experiences with like staying in Airbnb, staying in vacation villas there. If any of you can help me with this stupid reservation system from Disney, and if anybody wants to play tennis. But now comes the time on Sunday Sofa Time where I comment on your comments live on air. In last week's Sunday Sofa Time, I talked about spa secrets on cruise ships, things you can do to get a better spa experience, things to avoid to not get trapped into the sales pitches and stuff like that. I also shared another bit of personal experience out of my life here, something new that I did. If you haven't seen that video yet, you know where you can find it. And the first comment is from Brenna Rizzardi. Brenna writes, I have also experienced this. Once I had to threaten to scream because the tech had her back to the door and would not let me leave. Brenna's talking about this hard sell that you get at the spas on ships a lot, where they try to upsell you some kind of product or some kind of, another treatment or whatever. Sounds like it really did not go well here for Brenna. Now when I get offers from the spa manager saying that they haven't seen me in a while, I can only laugh. What is the point of receiving a relaxing treatment when they're gonna immediately stress you out? And I totally agree with that. That's one of the reasons why I try to avoid going to the spas on ships. First of all, it's always way more expensive than on land. And then most of them are run by the same company, be it if you're cruising on Carnival or Disney. And part of the business model is that the people working in the spas have to constantly suggest and attempt to sell you more. That sounds awful. That you felt like you almost had to scream to get out of the room. That definitely should not be like that. Next comment is from Jay Van Hest. Jay writes, I guess I've been pretty lucky. I've been hit with the upsell many times, but never the hard sell type. I've been able to just listen to what they have to say, then politely let them know that I'm not interested right now. Sometimes if they mention something that sounds interesting, I will ask them to write down their recommendations so I can think about it. This has always ended the sales pitch. And Jay, I think you've been pretty lucky with that, because reading through the comments, it seems like most people have experienced the point where it becomes uncomfortable before they leave. And it's just so unfortunate. This can't keep going on for very long. Eventually, I feel like that has to stop. But the asking them to write it down, that sounds like a good idea. Maybe if I go to a spa on a ship again, I'll try that. Final comment is from Scott P. Scott writes, my wife is a massage therapist. She has been doing it for 31 years, and I've learned from her, and it is exhausting. You are pouring your energy into the patient. And like I mentioned in the video from last week, I now also know what it's like to work in a spa and to give somebody massages, and it is you are giving your physical energy to this person so they can relax. It is really hard work, but interestingly enough, and one of my teachers at the school told me this as well, that you also do kind of get energy back from the people if you believe in this, like, you know, esoteric energy flow around the world. It is exhausting, but it also, it gives something back to you as well, to use your body to make somebody else feel better. And I know how that sounds, and you know I don't mean it like that. Thank you everybody for sticking around to this point of the video. If you did, the secret word is home sweet home. Next week's Sunday Sofa Time will not be in front of this sofa. It's going to be from someplace else, and I'm really, really thrilled about it. Hope to see you there. Bye-bye.